Sorry, the sun is a bit weird again. It's excruciating hot, like crazy. I was just trying, and I was watching this guy like tuning this Christian camp about molestations, and they threatened to sue. So I can't get sued because I have nothing. I can just take my dog. So I think this Epstein files, I don't have time for it. I've got to work and make a living and try at least, But I think it's like one big rabbit hole, pile of junk to confuse people and mislead them. And I find it, a little bit insulting that, that people get really sex trafficked, I mean, I can tell you of so many people, like some of my friends, while they're walking in the streets, like people who try to kidnap their wives, So, and I'm sure this Epstein guy is no angel, and it's misleading. Like, if you look at somebody, if you take John Wayne Gacy, which was like a very big serial killer, and he was the clown in the community. Like, he would go to the barbecues and everybody's friend and play with the kids and whatnot. In the meantime, he's like a very hectic serial killer, because firstly, what I don't understand is, like, the what created the opportunities for these photos, of that Lord guy and the Prince guy and the President guy and all that, like, who would take, in what situation would you take that? Where will it be? It's not realistic, I don't want to make anybody, it's just my opinion. So for somebody, like in that interview of Epstein, for somebody to, like, if you don't have issues like taking money from the devil, or what's the origin of money, or stuff like that, that is like a very sensitive thing. And to, when he mentioned like the university he worked or had to do something, and he had to put a thing together there, and he couldn't see the concept in science solving medical issues. That's a SP thing. And where he, like, when he mentions the president's name, like that, like, I know, and his whole thing that he does, like, I know this, like that, in connections, like, that's the ESFP thing. It's also a narcissistic thing. But all of that is like, the interviewer is extremely insulting. Like, he asks him, would you consider yourself to be the devil reincarnated? And this gibberish about angels and fallen bullshit, and he called him a scumbag. How did a scumbag like you? And there's no like emotional reaction to that, like and he has this concept where you can buy like for forgiveness, or if you have like that's also ESFP thing. I think he's most likely ESFP, or he's exactly the same personality type as me, regrettably. and because I can get all of that stuff, but I'm no sicko, So You know, some Trump or somebody around Trump said that his interactions with Jeffrey Epstein was he threw him out of his golf club because he thought he's a pervert, and that is like basically not the case, unless everything was fabricated. So this Lord guy, his lawyer guy said like the statements that was connected to it is like there's a lot of grammar issues and for an official bank statement like that it's not real. Like and it's for me about like the young girl thing, the underage girl thing, because that would be for me like a deal breaker. And I understand, you know, like I've got no idea what it feels like to have a lot of power or money or any of that, but I'm sure like a lot of things can drive you to stuff. And if you look at these photos like that, and that's what I wanted to say about Gacy, like if you look at the photos of that Epstein guy, like he doesn't fit with the little glasses, and it's like he didn't have an idea what that, it's very unhuman, like that interview. I think people should be careful. So to get 3 million documents, you know, is that, and it's basically like a magician's hat. You can fill the blanks literally like whatever you want to, but it's basically a huge scrape over the internet. You call it scraping. And there was like this in 2016 or something, this girl that was now like a lot older that accused, or back then accused Trump of when she was 13, like, and that can just be a direct scrape of that because it's all over the internet. If you read that stuff, and like I said, like the one of the boy, and like it's inherently like extremely evil, it's over the top evil, you know, and demented. And I would not classify Trump as being evil. Trump is Trump, you know, but he's not like evil. And that's my conclusion. I think it's all a bunch of shit, and people who has got time can waste their time with it. And it's a pity because, you know, he probably had real victims and stuff. I don't, you know, and I don't want to discredit anybody. It's a real thing happening, and I don't know what else I wanted to say. There's a lot of inconsistencies. So